This high school season, it's time to choose your gaming destiny. Whether it's gaming icons clashing in the ultimate showdown in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, hitting the road and outpacing the competition in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or slinging ink with your friends in colorful battles in Splatoon 3. Bring competitive Nintendo gaming to your high school through Play Versus. Learn more about the upcoming season by visiting playvs.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Play vs. Fall High School Championship for 2023. I'm Genie7, joined again by Soav. And Soav, we got our Central Finals coming up.
I mean, this is a wild bracket. We were kind of talking about this later, but we have the number 9th seed coming in from Missouri, taking on the number 10 seed, Willowbrook Park. And I mean, both of these teams just had so much to overcome. Both of them beat just respectively higher seeds to get to this point. So I don't even know what to predict here because both of these teams, by any statistical rights, should have been long gone. But here they are playing for the Central Finals.
You know, and it's all, for any sport, no matter what you're doing, any event that you're in, being the underdog is so fun. And you know what?
Yeah.
If you want to be the underdog too, Soav, know where to go. We've got the spring championship coming up again. Get ready to get back in the action. Enrollment for spring 2024 season is open now. It is free to compete. Discover the opportunities that Play Versus have to offer and get all the details for the upcoming spring season at playversus.com. Don't just watch, play.
That's right. You can be the underdog. You can put yourself in these incredible players' shoes to come up, rise from the ashes, come out of the 10th seed bracket, and play for your region championship because that's what's on the line here right now. And it's going to be a best of 5 for this. So first to 3, whoever comes out across those 5 maps will be claimed your champion.
Yep. We have WB Splatoon Team 1 and MSM Splatoon A. These are going to be for our central region. I'm really excited. Both these teams we got to get some housekeeping out of the way. Both these teams have opted not to use the new chill season update in for anything that's going through. What that will mean is no new stages, no new weapons.
And that's tough, right? Because there's what's the one thing we've been talking about and kind of seeing all day, Jeannie?
Stamper. This new stamper, that new chill season stamper, that will be off the table. You cannot see that between these two teams.
I mean, that's going to be really interesting because that was something that really seemed to be kind of shaping the meta we have seen in previous events and probably for, the first couple parts of since this dropped. But we're really now looking back at what was the meta like prior to chill season, what were people cooking up and what were people really bringing into these battles. And the other thing that's been pretty consistent through this season, and not just this season but previous ones, were those crab tanks because they're still so good, Jeannie.
The problem is is that Splash is by far and away was the best panning crab weapon.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to an L3? It's not the most favorable weapon in the game, and it's hard to pick up and just play.
You're right.
Splattershot Pro has not been good without damage up.
No.
It has not been all that in a bag of chips.
No.
And I don't even remember what the final crab tank weapon is. Oh, Dualies.
Dualies.
Dualies is a mobile weapon that does not enjoy being absolutely stalled out by popping a crab tank. It likes constant fluid action. It just feels awkward when you're dodging and dipping and rolling all over the map and then have to stop and pop a crab tank.
Well, we're going to see what these teams bring. Map 1 is going to be Turf War. So for those of us who are used to playing competitive modes, that casual mode is going to be our Map 1. We are waiting for our pick from our higher seed, which I believe is MSMS. So we're waiting on them to kind of decide where we're going first. But again, you're all right. I want to give it. I can't take away that away because the crab is arguably, a little bit of a tough spot. So what do you think is going to be the keys to winning then here?
Inkjet was getting shut down a little bit, getting sliced out of the sky a little bit by the Stamper. So Inkjet kind of fell up just a tad, just a little bit. It's mostly the problem with Inkjet is you're realistically relying on ballpoint. unless you
Yeah,
just want
that's
to
true.
farm it up and play Nova or play Brella. Please, by all means, I'd love to see a Brella bit.
I'd love to see some Brella action. That'd be great, but I think we're hoping for too much.
Yep. It's not in the greatest of positions for other options. And Zuka, we're gonna see. I think maybe if you have the finger dexterity to play Squeezer, the regular
true.
Squeezer, you could play that, or just opt with the shot because
Yeah,
realistically,
no.
a shot.
I mean, let's be real. We've seen a lot of Zukas over the past coming months. We've seen that rise in popularity, especially as a crab counter, but also as just a way to, make sure you can hit pressure. You can get around a lot of those walls and into those tight spaces that squids might be hiding in. So I do think, these comps are going to be a little bit maybe more focused around that in some ways.
Yeah, and I would like to point out that both of these teams have a relatively small bench, if any at all. It's only going to be Willowbrook High School, which has a bench, which only has one member on it. So realistically, we're not going to be seeing too many any swap ups at all.
Yeah,
maybe one.
I mean, and that question mark is, are you just bringing it for? I mean, both of these teams obviously made it this far past some incredible other teams, coming in from 9th and 10th seed. So I think that says a lot about not just them as individual players, but as their teams and as their, as their franchises, right? Like these teams obviously came together and played well to get to this point. Splatoon isn't necessarily a game you could just hard carry as one player. You really do need to make sure you win your 2v1s, you set your teammates up for success, cover for any mistakes that come. And I think that's really what I'm expecting to see when we get into gameplay.
We will see. We're just waiting on one more player to join the room and getting that opening map for Turf War. Again, so if we talked about it at the beginning, there isn't really a good unless you know what you're playing, like the exact weapon comps that you want to play, there isn't the best, most ideal map to say that's our first map to play Turf War. No, it's not like Splatoon 1 where Urchin Underpass was kind of that map.
All right, counterpoint. Today alone, we've seen Mako Mart on turf for a couple of our maps.
Yeah.
I would bet money that we go to Mako Mart again for Turf War. I'd bet it.
What do you want to put on the table?
I mean, look, we'll hammer this out afterwards, but whatever it is.
I wasn't being serious.
Look, I know. Look, like statistics aren't perfect, but if there's one thing I will say that like teams seem to be favoring Mako Mart. We've seen that arguably the most of the maps in this broadcast today.
For sure.
And I have to kind of think that there's a particular reason for it. It does work. We've seen, how important those high grounds can be. So maintaining those center high grounds could be an important factor, be it by Inkjet from Ballpoint, be it by Crab Tank. It's gonna be interesting. And I'm wrong. Oh my gosh, it's the rare first sighting. I can't believe it. Are we back in school?
Honestly, we're like almost halfway through the day.
We just see this.
What's that comp?
What is a brush and a roller? We have missiles. We have plus a blah blah.
Mississippi School for Math and Science has been cooking something up in the science lab.
I like this. This is fascinating. This is so much space control. Look at how much you can put out between the blah blah or between the roller, and there's already a pick in their favor.
Yeah, that's gonna
be
it too. Good splash. Both teams are going around and around with these splashes. We're gonna see this early zip cast. Oh, Old Rush gets absolutely zipped on by the spider zip.
I mean, look, the real is Rush is absolutely already up 3-0. They are taking all kinds of control, but now I'm looking at this roller. I want to see the roller hang back and just build up some special. If we kind of just send those missiles out and support from the distance, because there's so much still in the back can get lost if you don't paint it. This is Turf War. Every inch counts.
And this is such a large map, so that's hard to really paint that spawn. So and go from spawn to mid. Sorry. So you really need to get that spawn paint down early and often and fast. So then you don't have to recontest it in that last 30 seconds, which we saw cost some teams earlier on in the day.
Will eventually get caught out. The numbers do favor here for Mississippi State, for Mississippi School. But I mean, again, it's looking pretty green here, so they'll hold on to this. This odd comp caught them off guard, but it seems like they've kind of got the advantage here. It seems like they've kind of got it all figured out.
Yeah, and Westbrook, they are just kind of stalling out in mid, trying to find their way in. We do see this tree fight with the brush, and the brush has that advantage, and a Zipcaster has to watch out for that Zuka, though. Both these teams going into the final minute and 30 here need to find some good control, because right now it's just 1-for-1s all over the map.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that works in the favor.
3 down.
3 down is huge. I mean, it just didn't get anybody, but the numbers just continue to fall. 3 down again. They are just constantly playing from behind for Willowbrook. Like this is just so difficult. This is like such a unique comp that unfortunately has just kind of not quite, bled out to what it's gonna be.
Ooh, we're getting into the final moments here. Under a minute remaining. They've got that Inkstrom out on the side of MSMS. They're trying to find some fights down in this tree, which could be good. If they find one member for free here, that would be massive. But your blob, they've ran out of ink, and your brush is gone.
The falls they just keep falling, Genie. They're not winning, and this is a comp that isn't necessarily going to win those duels. They're not an aggressive tank. This is a comp that's really good at putting paint down, but unfortunately, they just can't find paint to stand in.
No, they can't. They're playing the weapons that they love, and they're playing to have fun. But 20 seconds on the clock, you need to find a way into mid. You need to find a way to get these splats down extremely fast. You find one, it costs you one member. It costs you 2. 10 seconds on the clock. You've got all but just an Octobus remaining, and that's
great
a wipeout
shot
with the Zuka. That's gonna be it. Willowbrook, they're gonna be taking game 1 here.
Well, I mean, a unique comp that really caught him off guard from MSMS, but like Willowbrook just won. They just won more duels, right? Like just all out. They just continue to find picks and win that way. So, I mean, that's pretty real. Turf War is the foundation for it all, right? You need to get paint down, but you also need to win those initial duels. You need to be able to maintain your own in the fight, because it's not just about getting paint down. It's not just about putting out as much as you can. And Willowbrook showed that they are more than capable of winning those 1v1s. This is a great sign for them.
Yeah, it was a good showing for Willowbrook. They definitely, on paper, had the better fighting comp.
Yeah.
And they're more or less, I guess, weapons that everyone kind of has to use at some point or another. Less specialized, less specialties. So overall, for Mississippi School of Math and Science, I need to see them, whatever they counterpick, fit into at least 2 of their weapons.
I agree.
Because it's hard to find a map that'll win with all of your weapons. And we've got an early counterpick, Rainmaker on Hammerhead Bridge. I have not seen this map in a long time. This
is a unique pick, so this might work in their way. And that's a that's a very large change of pace we were gonna see here. I respect it. These are some different choices out of Mississippi School. I really hope they can find some value with it though, because this is a drastic change from what we just saw.
Yeah, big change up going forward. They have the Wiper, and the Wiper is so underrated right now. In the cooler comp, it doesn't keep up with the speed, but if neither team has that cooler, it will be able to use its extra mobility that it has naturally over every other weapon to its advantage.
Okay, I mean, that is a very early breakthrough, and I mean, that first initial point isn't very far. Great Bloblobber shot, but the one thing that this Bloblobber does bring into it is very easy to pop that Rainmaker. You can get so much ink out so fast from a single toss. So 2 down for the side of Orange means that this push is still live, and it's going to keep moving, Genie. 2 though!
2 found out with 1 suction. That was beautiful. And the Ultra Stamp, be able to find up another one. MSMS. This is an opportunity for them. They got to find these jumps in mid. They find 1 splat, but they lose a member in a trading scenario. They get another splat. They see a 3rd, but that's the machine, and they rush headlong with the Rainmaker into it.
Oh, that's a little too advantageous. I really want to see them play a little bit more pokey for this. I really want to see them get a pick before they go in, or at least I want to see that hammer create some space, and that's what it's doing. I love this. This is a great read, just scaring that crab out, but there's no capitalize. They lost the Rainmaker in the mid-fight, Genie. That was such a moment lost.
Yeah. This is an opportunity to break the checkpoint, and they do. The tie still goes over in favor of Willowbrook, though. The machine able to get a good spot. The Rainmaker is moving its way forward, but will it be punished? It most certainly will by the splash. No, not quite. No. Able to get punished a little bit later. Wiper stays alive, has his Ultra Stamp ready, baits their teammates. She does go down. That is going to be another spot followed up with that jump.
The point I mean, they have to get it back across mid. Thankfully, these initial points are a little bit smaller. Crab Tank over on the mid ground here just to buy a little bit more space. Rainmaker falls, though. I mean, the Crab didn't quite buy the space it's going to do.
Oh, my.
But oh, wow, that was a big swing coming off, and that's 2 picked.
Ooh. This is going to be an Ultra Step out, able to find one splat and keeps going forward, gets another splat as well. Prince, she's going absolutely massive with that thing so far.
I mean, she is leading the way quite literally, and that's what you want with this comp. You want your Stamper to lead the way to clear a path for it. Booyah Bomb is up just to try to cancel out that Wave Breaker, so they'll have at least negated that. But again, the second this Stamper comes back online, it's trouble for the side of Mississippi.
There goes that Rainmaker shield. It goes for the pop. Zip Caster is out. Will Levy be able to stop it? And Levy, he does. Wow, great job.
Great stop. They'll take the lead, though, as there wasn't a contest. 2 down means it ends there for now, but it's still very close. A late splat will get it back into the side of Willowbrook. Ooh, 2 down.
My goodness, this Rainmaker. You gotta kind of get it out of this dangerous zone, because if you fall here, the enemy team can pick this thing up and just start running these points down. For either team, though, this push isn't safe until, in my opinion, it's down in the 20s. And that was a random double from the bomb.
Yeah, that's a double. That was a go moment, but the pressure that both these teams apply onto the Rainmaker is impressive. So this is still kind of up with 1:30 on the clock. Again, like you said, I want to see a little bit more poke. I want to see a little bit more completion. Oh, that kill they just escaped from that. I want to see more poke completion because right now it's 3v2, and that's not enough to go forward.
No, it's not. The Wayburger is out. Gonna have to play jump rope. The machine has been spotted out, but can the Doolies find a way in? No, they can't. Can't get that ink underneath their feet to be able to start really rolling forward. Here goes that Booyah Bomb, trying to slow down this Rainmaker. Just over a minute left on the clock.
Great shot.
Here, and the Crab Tank proves to be too strong again.
Yeah, it's just still too strong. Let's be real here. They have the lead for the side of Mississippi School, but I mean, again, they don't need to push it forward. They just need to maintain control, and now they're starting to do it. You can see the angles they're taking. 3 down means that they'll maintain control. They'll try to put it in a position where they can control this a little better. And with 45 on the clock, this is the right call. Just maintain a spot where you can prevent it from getting into their hands and clinch the win that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of spots going down. Here goes the Rainmaker all the way down into these
20?
almost single digits. No, all the way down to 12. That is where it's going to be stopped. These Doolies have to stay alive. They have no ink in their tank, and the Booyah Bomb is coming straight at that Rainmaker's face. It's going to be popped, but will it be grabbed? And all the way down to 10. There goes an Ultra Step, but I think it was a little bit too late because the Rainmaker, it got to sneak its way down to 4.
Ooh, that is a tough break. And with 10 on the clock means that this push is going to be the last push. They cannot afford to let this drop here, so every pick is important. Early Zip Caster, I love this aggressive play.
You gotta go fast here because the Rainmaker, it
oh,
can't
2 down
now. You have to actually play a little bit safer around it, but you need to make that space. It's just gonna be cringe. She falls down from the Rainmaker. The Rainmaker has to back up, and Azuka in its face. That'll be it. One plus Willowbrook. They take game 2 again.
I mean, they're looking good, considering these odd choices that have come out on both sides. I got to give it to them. These are not the things you scrim all the time, so
no.
Really speaks to their ability to play against these flexible things. And I also want to say, you know, I wasn't, the Blob Blobber was a big question mark. I get the appeal to it, and I understand why we might want that. It puts a lot of paint down. It's a lot of damage into that Rainmaker bubble. It got a lot of dividends, Genie, and that's not a pick you normally see pay off like that.
On that map, one of my dearest friends in the community who is a blob connoisseur. That is a big good blob map because there's not many avenues. There's about 3 ramps and they're all the same in the same line. You start lobbing those blobs from that bathtub, those bubbles, you're gonna run into them, and they do a lot of damage to you. The damage, even though it's a 4-shot weapon. Those start rolling down the hill at you, you're gone.
Yeah. It's a lot of chip damage that sometimes you don't see coming. Sometimes you'll take 1 or 2, and even if you just catch a stray off of it, it's enough that you know, your teammate can follow up onto it. So a great read from the map and composition. But we're on to zones now, and I mean, I'm gonna say, like, Blob Blobber can still get some work done here on zones. I don't think that needs to change if you're really feeling yourselves.
True. It depends on the map that we're going to.
Yeah, that's the question.
Blob. It really, truly does. Because if you get too much grading, Blob doesn't enjoy it. If you get too much elevation, then your blobs kind of just arc over everybody. You need that perfect amount. That perfect amount of arc and that perfect amount where Blob can really just feel like a brick wall where you can't fight through it. Have you ever thought of it like a bathtub lobbing bubbles as a brick wall? Because I just made that connection.
I love that connection. That's a great connection. Genie, the pick is Mahi zones.
I love bubbles on Mahi when I go to the resort.
I mean, look, I'm here for it, but like, I mean, I know, like you and I know how Mahi has kind of been looked at by a lot of the community. So
Reworked. So
it's
been reworked.
yeah. All right, rework aside, like I think if you're going to even still, I don't know that it's a mode that. Like, do you really want to play Mahi zones when there's other choices? So this feels like a targeted
honestly,
counter
yes.
pick.
Japan loves Mahi zones more than any other map.
Okay. More to my point, this feels targeted. This feels calculated. So I think that from the side of Mississippi, this feels like a pick they knew was coming. And I like the weapons to match it. We're back to a roller, though. I'm not sold
Missiles
on the
to
roller.
get people off. This
I'm
is
not sold, though.
They went back
I'm
to
not
the
sold, Genie.
picks.
I'm not sold.
No, I don't really know who's going to fight. I see this team, and I see every other weapon on the other side is a better fighting weapon than you have.
Yeah, I'm not sold on it. I think it's a good pick if this is your comforts, and I see how much paint we can put down, but I'm just not sold on it, Genie.
No, because like the crab tank is just going to kind of do that too eventually. And then the Zuka comes out. Once the specials start racking up, comforts aside, it's going to be dangerous. And so if this map can snowball fast.
Yeah, this is going to be tough for them to get entry, and now they are there. They have the high ground, but it's not going to do a lot. But that's a great opening bomb. That gets you a pick, and that'll get you in to hopefully can follow up and find a few more picks.
And this is the blob. This is an original blob, so no Kraken, no real easy way to get in. You're gonna have that rain cloud, which will do a lot of stall damage. The rain cloud plus the aerospace booyah bomb. That's realistically gonna be your best sustained tool when for entry damage.
Great pick there. It's still, the zone's stalled out here at 62. They'll maintain control for the side for now, but again, I just have to give it. This comp looks like it's going to win the duels more, and then again, time and again, that's 2 now that they continue to play man up. Make it 3.
Oh my goodness!
Make it 4!
The shot! My goodness, that was beautiful! All 4 down for that wipeout, and this tactical cooler, it's going to be coming online soon, especially now that half the map has been opened up with the water levels going down. The Mahi Mahi Resort Special.
I mean, it does give the Blob Lover a little more space to play, but I don't know that does a lot. They managed to steal control of the zone with that Booyah Bomb for now, but I mean, I'm not sold. Mississippi, they're getting past it. They'll have the time now. They need to get rid of this cooler bonus because they're playing from a disadvantage now without it.
Big disadvantage, and that's 2 gone again. It's hard. You need your blob to be facing the same angles that your brush and your aerospray are looking, because the brush and aerospray, they don't have the range that they can keep up with. And the Flingza, it's not known for its damage. It's known for its paint and its chip. Yeah. It needs help. And 2 going down to Azuka, oof.
Yeah. This chip comp just doesn't quite put out enough damage and complete enough kills fast enough. You're seeing it here as the clock continues to tip down, and finally that penalty's gone. 30 on the clock with 2:30 on the means that, I mean, Willowbrook is looking to close this out in a quick 3-0 fashion here, and they are looking forward to do it. Look at this aggressive take, just clearing out the space.
They found the Zipcaster landing. But they're going to get punished by the blob. No, the blob gets punished.
They live.
In a reverse card. The zone. You need to cap the zone. And they haven't. The brush, the last one alive. And they're going for the crab dick. They're not going for the zone. No. That's going to be Willowbrook. They're going to be your Central Splatoon High School champions.
An incredible showing from that. Just a great read from Willowbrook. They made just great choices across the board. They won their duels. They were winning 1v1s. Yeah, I see it. I see how they got here. Whoever put them at number 9, I don't know about that, fam. Like, they definitely don't look like a number 9 seed to me. That was a team that came here to win and definitely put on a number 1 show.
They do. You said it best. They came clean, looked professional, and got the job done.
Yeah.
A 3-0 scoreline. Honestly, it does sum up how the set went.
Yeah.
Sometimes we say, oh, it was a close 3-0. This didn't feel like a super close 3-0.
No.
This felt like a team that saw their trophy and they grabbed it.
I mean, how much of that, though, I wonder, because both of these teams had great runs. Let's take a step back. Both of these teams came from 9 and 10 seeds, so both of these teams had a gauntlet in front of them. I do have to give it credit for Mississippi School because they got here using those comps and those weapons, that
Oh
was a
yeah.
really interesting take on this very chip heavy damage. Every single team member could really play the longer fight in a different way. So it was just a unique comp that didn't quite pan out when put in front of a much more aggressive team.
Yeah, it's you. The unique weapons are good. We've seen it from
Yeah.
other top teams that have been able to rock with like weapons like Blob and Junior and different like even dualies like comps like that and
Yeah.
prove to be really strong. But every so often they run into a team that just has their number and they
Yeah.
can't get anything accomplished. But because they are using a weird and wacky strategy, it catches as many teams
Yeah.
off guard, if not more teams off guard than the teams that know how to counter them. You have to
Yeah.
really have done your research. And honestly, I could say really good job for the coach. Give like this, like you were prepared for their wacky offense and their wacky defense, their wacky
Yeah.
strategies. You came prepared and ready. Game plans, executions,
Yeah.
clean and clear.
Yeah, I mean, a good showing from both sides. It again, it was a pretty tough 3-0, but I think realistically, both teams have a lot to build on going into next year. For Willowbrook, you take that, you
Oh, yeah.
look at this as a dominant 3-0, and you take care of that going forward, knowing that you ran a gauntlet, and look, the haters are behind you now. You're not a number 9 seed. You're going on your number 1 for Mississippi School of Math and Sciences. You know what? Refine this. Take this unique angle,
Yeah.
work for yourself, and just refine it for next season. You can always grow. Take this and continue because you have something unpredictable that can work in your favor. As long as you improve on it and just get those fundamentals going, that can be something that carries you along too.
And coming from quite a low seed that they were to come all the way up to second, that's
huge.
And I know it's 2 underdogs meeting, so an underdog was almost gonna it was guaranteed to win, but you are still an underdog to come second as that.
That's
you need to hold your head high and come back in the spring and show that you're no longer just an underdog. You're here to stay.
Yeah, these two teams are definitely teams you have to take seriously. But unfortunately, that's all we're going to get to see of them today. So for now, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with another finals in, well, a little bit. Grab a water and hang tight.